This is your call coming with another vision. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone who grew well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This vision is how I came into the truth. I mean, I'm gonna just get straight into it, and the spirit is on me to do this one, and it's like a very important vision that I had. It started off as just a regular dream. I was in a dream, and I don't know what I was doing, but two officers came up to me, and they was like, your wife was just murdered, and they told me who the suspect was, and I was like, puzzled, like, what in the world? And it was like, we're finna take you to the suspect or whatever, and I was like, they started taking me to the suspect, and like I was angry, while they was taking me, and I was like, you know what, I'm finna kill this dude. And I was telling the two police officers that, and they was like, man, you can't, kill the dude, you got to have forgiveness, this, that, you got to let the Most High handle it. I'm like, no, he took my wife, and, he took my wife's life, I'm finna go handle that. And they was like, they was reading me scriptures or whatever, and I was like, I don't care nothing about that. I was in the world, and, I wasn't in the truth. I was searching the truth, and I knew the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and I knew that those were the names. And Yahweh Shai, I guess he was testing me in that dream. He heard what I said, and when I tell you I was beamed up, this wasn't, I don't, know how to say this. This wasn't a dream anymore. This didn't feel like a vision. I have plenty of visions, not boasting or bragging. This didn't feel like a dream. I felt my soul being beamed up out of my body. I could see the stars and everything as I was being beamed up. And I landed like in this white room. It was surrounded by whiteness, and I seen this like bright white light, but you could look at it, but you couldn't see through the light. And I could feel that I knew exactly, I thought I knew exactly. I thought it was the Most High. I thought it was Yahweh, but it was Yahweh Shai, obviously. And I could feel him looking at me. So, I knew where I was, and I didn't know that I was being beamed up. I thought I died, honestly. I thought I was dead. But I can't explain the feeling. Like, I really want to say I know for a fact that I was beamed up, that I wasn't in a dream anymore. That's just on my spirit to say that, I know a lot of brothers might disagree, but I really feel like I was beamed up in the spirit. So Yahweh Shai, he was just looking at me, and I could feel him looking at me. I couldn't see him. He was completely surrounded in light, and he was huge. I mean, he was really huge. And he went to talking. It was more like yelling, and when he went to talking, like my bones, like I never experienced this ever, in this body. My bones and my flesh, my bones was trying to shake out of my flesh. I was so scared. Like I was terrified, and he went to screaming at me. I couldn't tell you exactly what he said at first, and but he was just, letting me have it, whatever he was saying. I just know it was scriptural. I know it was, in the Bible, whatever he was saying. And like this happened to me maybe 3 years ago, and every time I dwell on what he said, like I would remember, and I'll try to write it down, but before I could get to write it down, I'll forget. He'll take it away. He was saying some things to me, and then I started remembering, like this part, I can remember what he said. And as he said this, you have to visualize this stuff, As he said, this part right here, because of your transgressions of the laws, commandments, and statutes. That's all I had remembered, but I was dwelling on it. I woke up out of my sleep tonight, and I was dwelling on it. And as I was like, telling the story in my head, I actually got remembrance of what he said after. And you got to remember, this was years, this was years ago. I had this, over 3 years at least, about 3.5 years ago. And like, I knew it was the Spirit because of everything I've been going through, to remember what he said after that. And I just immediately gave praise, because I know that he was telling me, go do this video now. Now it's time to, reveal this, because I did it before, but I deleted it. Something just told me to delete it because I felt like it wasn't right, I didn't have enough explanation on what was going on and enough knowledge to say that what was going on in that vision, or So as he said, because of your transgressions of the laws, commandments, and statutes, I seen like these TV screens, and he gave me remembrance, tonight too, dwelling on them, what was on those TV screens. Like, as they was flying by me, it was like four TV screens, and then four more, and then four more, like rows of like 4 or 5. And it was coming, and then each TV screen was flickering to all my sins, all my lives, which proves reincarnation. I could see that it was me. I mean, different bodies, but it was me. I could see that it was my spirit. I mean, I was baffled, looking at this. And like, now he's slowing it down in my mind, which he never did. That's how I know he want me to do this, through the Spirit. Call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I could see myself in slavery. I could see myself walking out of Egypt. I could see so many lives. I could see myself in Israel. I could see, transgressions that I was doing, sins. It's so much that I seen, on those TV screens. And I knew it was me. I remember, this is the one that messes me up the most. I remember looking at one and I was locked in. It stayed because, it stayed at a scene. I remember being on the bottom of a boat, chained up. Yeah, I remember seeing that. And I'm looking, and I'm like, I was locked in, and he just slowed that down in my mind so I can tell the Akim. I remember, looking at that in that vision, if you want to call it, of me being chained up at the bottom of a boat. I was real dark skinned too, I'm a little light skinned now, but I was real dark skinned. It was a different body. I remember seeing that. But as he was saying that, because of your transgressions and laws, because of the transgressions of the laws, commandments, and statutes, he was like, that's why I did what I did to you. But he was saying that he loved me. And like, his voice changed. It went from like thunder, because his voice was like really, the apostle explained it as speaker system, and I get that. I really get that now, especially after dwelling on it. I really get it, because I can remember it was like, thundering and lightning, and like, it was so loud, and it was shaking. It was, wherever I was, I believe that I was in the ship, because I was beamed up. Wherever I was, it was shaking everything. And like, I was trembling, like my whole body, like my bones was trying to shake out of my skin. I could feel that. And then he, I could feel him like look at me. He called my name, and he was like, you haven't been wearing your holy garments. That's what he told me. And like, I didn't understand. And he looked at me, like he leaned in and looked at me, and he called my name again. Like I couldn't see his face, because he was completely surrounded in a bright white light. I could not see him. I couldn't see no features, And like, I have to say this, he sounded like a Jake. I mean, he definitely sounded like a Jake with flavor too. And he sounded like, beautiful voice at that, a very beautiful voice. So he leaned in and he called my name again, and like he was staring at me, like staring into me. He was like, put on your holy garments. And then I felt myself being beamed down. And when I landed in my body, I was still in a dream, but I kind of wasn't. I could feel that my bones were still shaking trying to shake out of my flesh. They felt like they was trying to get out of my flesh, and run away from my flesh. Like, my bones was like, I don't want nothing to do with this. That's what it felt like. It was like, I'm gonna leave, the skin here so you can get, go through whatever, go through all of this. But that's what it felt like. I just got to, give you a so you can envision what I was going through in this. And like I could kind of feel myself sleep and woke at the same time, but I was still in a dream. So I see that the two officers or whatever, we were standing, everything was at a standstill. Next thing you know, I see my wife walk up, and she was like, "What happened?" And the two officers was looking up, and it was like, "He took him." And then she was like, "He took him." It was like, "Yeah, the Most High took him." Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. They didn't say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, but it was referring to, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And then she was like, just looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm still, my bones shaking. Like, and at this point, I can feel, myself waking up. I woke up, and like my bones were still shaking so bad, like the whole bed was moving. Like the bed was like not just moving, shaking, it was moving. Like my bones were shaking so bad in my flesh. I was moving, and it woke her up, and she's looking at, my wife woke up, and she's looking at me like, wrong. And then, I'm just ending at that. And that's the end of that vision. But I actually want to get a precept. I didn't know about this precept. I wasn't in the truth. And when I heard this precept, like I almost, busted into tears, because like I knew it to be true. Psalms 104. I'm gonna start at Psalms 104. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Verse 2, who covered thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. He's like, you could not see him. Like, he's there. You could see the light that illuminates from him, but it don't like illuminate out. It just surrounds him, in like a perfect shape. I mean, it was so bright, but you could see you could look into it. It was like brighter than the sun, but it didn't blind you at the same time. And the Lord put the Spirit to wake me out of my sleep to finally, do this vision. And I hope that it was edifying. And to the next time, I say shalom.